Good morning. So I'm starting early, one, so I can have my coffee, but to give you a hint.
Nobody's here yet. I'll let you know when people get here.
Okay, thank you. But it's going to record. So.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Oh, share to group. Yes, I want to share this to
my Facebook.
Working on it.
And you can do Yoga Unity.
I'm looking at, I don't see that group. I think it's like groups, not pages.
Alright, well if it's not pages, don't worry about it. Just hit my Facebook page and I can share it later. I love having a cameraman, I have to tell you. Not gonna lie. We signed on a little early to give everybody a chance to get on here.
Oh, we have 8 people.
And everybody can ask questions. Morning, everybody. A couple of people are still signing on. And my cameraman's getting some technology going on back there. So this is the game plan for our terms of quarantine. Is I'm going to try to join you every day at 9 o'clock. 45 minutes classes, so they're smaller, so they're doable. It's hard to get a class done at home when you have family underfoot or pets crawling all over your mat. So every day, hopefully, I'll give you some new content. Today is going to be twists. We've already had some requests. Krishna Dave said her knees are bothering her and she'd like to do a knee class, so we're going to do some chair yoga, yin yoga. We're going to work on handstands, headstands, lots of different things over the next week. And again, they're going to be 45 minutes long. Every day at 9 o'clock, and it's going to be through donation, and I'll also save these videos to my Facebook in case your friends or your family are working right now, or you want to share it with somebody who doesn't live in this time zone. Those donations can be made through PayPal and through Venmo, and the information's in the description below. How are we doing on time, Mr.
Watchkeeper? It's
Mr.
59.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just get settled on our mat. You shouldn't need any props today. If you like to use them, then go ahead. If you have sensitive knees, maybe just grab a quick blanket or a towel that you can put under your knees. But other than that, we should be pretty good today on our first one that's just to twist this. So let's get started. So we're just going to get started seated. We want to kind of anchor ourselves to the floor. We feel those sits bones and just breathe. And we love our yoga class. We love going to see our yoga family. Yoga practice at home is hard because we see all the dust bunnies and there's noise and things you forgot to do, and it's easy to just get up and run and do something, but I'm going to ask you not to do that today. You're in a yoga class with all of us, we're all together. So that first breath here is just going to be let that stuff go. 45 minutes, that's all. So we're going to let the head come forward, and we're going to feel the back of the neck stretch, and we're going to find our breath. That's the natural breath we have. When we observe our breath, it wants to change, but just a natural breath. Now with those eyes closed, you're going to lift the head and see if maybe you can let that right ear come over towards your right shoulder and stretch out through the neck. Now we're going to see if we can let that left ear drift over towards that left shoulder, stretching out the neck. And back to the center. See if you can shift those shoulders back so that you sit over the sits bones. Nice and tall. Try to extend the spine up so we have good communication through that spinal column, good connection through the sits bones. We feel grounded, rooted. And we find the natural breath. Now maybe we can change that breath just a little. Maybe a bigger, more fuller breath. That breath is the interface between your mind and the body so that you can really feel connected and in this moment. That breath's going to let you know if you're working too hard or not hard enough. If you're holding the breath, for example, you might not be in a pose just the way you need to be. You might need to back out of it a little bit. Now here's where we set the intention for the practice. Maybe you're practicing for your own mental health, flexibility, or strength. But many times I like to dedicate my practice to someone else or to a group of people. There is nothing more valuable than our time. How better to spend it than by devoting it or dedicating it to someone else? So take a few moments to do that. Finding your breath. And then we're going to open those eyes. We're going to lace the fingers together, pressing out, lifting up. Nice tall spine, opening through the heart. See if you can lift the head, looking up towards those fingers. Really long stretch. You're still grounded through the sits bones, and as you release, you're going to turn to the right. Tall spine. So in this very first posture, it's a twist. Feel grounded through the sits bones. We slowly turn at the navel. Then at the mid-back, thoracic spine, shoulders, neck is the last to go. And then just gently with your face, soften and let the eyes finish the twist. Now from here, we're going to get some lateral movement. We let that left shoulder come down. The right hand comes up. Nice big stretch. We're opening this tissue here on the side of the body through the serratus anterior. Before you even get to that muscle, though, we have to stretch the skin and this connective tissue. And right under that connective tissue, we have all of those lymphatic glands. And they don't have a pump the way your liver or your kidneys might, your heart pumps blood through. Here it's through movement. So we're really going to try to get deep into that movement. We have to get past all of these layers before we can even get really good twists into the spine. We're going to inhale back up. And let's bring it back to the center. Hands out and up. Nice big stretch. And we're going to twist to the left. Tall spine. And again, we're going to make sure both sits bones are on the floor. Turn at the navel. Turn at mid-back. Turn at that thoracic back. Shoulders looking behind you. Nice full breath. Now let's see if we can get some lateral movement here. We're going to let that shoulder drift down towards the knee. So I'm putting my right shoulder on my right knee, and I understand in this live stream I'm not coordinated enough here to say my left when I'm going to my right. So you just do your best and do opposite of the one you did last time. We're trying to look up towards that top hand. Nice full breath here. Again, we're feeling this tissue open. We're trying to push that left hip down so we can open in the waistline. All of this connective tissue. Many times when we have a tight hip or a tight shoulder, it's the tissue, just the skin and that fascia that keeps us from having any movement, kind of like a shirt that might be too tight in the armholes. You've all had a shirt like that. Same thing. We just want that tissue to lengthen. And inhale, we're going to come back up. I'm going to come back to the center and lengthen forward. Nice big stretch. Lengthening through the crown of the head. Where's your breathing? And then inhale, we're going to come back up and we're going to go ahead and switch those legs. Grab some coffee because that's important too, right? Now, right hand comes down. And again, if you want to mirror me, that's great. Or maybe you're going to do the opposite. We're going to lengthen through the side body, again, targeting that same tissue. But in this one, try to make sure that this hip doesn't come up. You want to keep it down. And if this area is too tight for that for you, you can lift the elbow, or you can put a block under that elbow. So we have this nice long stretch here. Make sure that there's space between this ear and the shoulder. Don't shrug. I'm going to lengthen up here through the neck. Where's your breath? Remember, that's that interface where we're connected to each other through the mind and the body. Really big stretch here. We're going to let that left hand come up. We're going to bend that elbow and twist it through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to unwind and lengthen. And slowly we're going to come up. Left arm comes down. Right arm reaches. Nice long stretch here. Opening through side body. We're pressing that right hip down. We're going to try to roll that right shoulder back some. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to let that hand slowly come up. Bend at the elbow. Twist it through. Nice rotation here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to unwind, lengthen out through the side body, and slowly come back up. And put those hands behind and rolling back. Looking up, opening through the throat, lifting the chest. Slowly we come forward. See if those hands will come up off the waistline. Nice big stretch here. Maybe you can take these hands that are making a basket and see if you can try to put the heels of the hands together. Makes it a little harder for you, yes, but it stabilizes the shoulder. So you have less chance of hurting the shoulder because you won't get as deep if you put your hands until those shoulders are ready. And we're going to slowly come up. We're going to unwind those shoulders by reversing that twist. Gently release. We're going to put the bottoms of the feet together, nice tall spine, and fold forward. Lengthening through the crown of the head. We're still feeling those sits bones. And back up. We're going to bring those knees up, cross the arms, grab the knees, roll back body. Really big pull here. The more you pull down on the knees, the better that stretch through the back of the shoulders, through the rhomboids. Full breathing. Again, that breath is so important. It's actually more important than the breath. We want to think about your yoga practice as a mala, which is like a strand of beads. And the poses are the beads, and the breath is the string that holds them together. So we really focus on that breath. We're going to try to lift the pelvic floor using bandhas for those of you who are familiar with that. And we're going to lift the knees up. We're going to change the cross and roll. Nice big stretch here. Other shoulder. 3, 4, 5. We're going to bring those knees back in, reach down, grab that right foot, and extend. Nice tall spine. I'm going to shorten this warm up just a little bit for those of you who are used to coming to my class, because we only have 45 minutes together today. And we're going to put that foot down and lift that leg. And 3, 4, 5. We're going to slowly let that leg come down. We're going to drop those knees over to the left. Now, as we sit up here, you're going to feel this press down right here in that IT band, hip flexor a little bit. 3, 4, 5. We're going to switch to the other side. Tall spine, pushing that left hip down. Really working through that hip, through IT band, hip flexor, press it down. 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to bring those knees back in, extend, nice little bounce, forward folding. Now, from here, we're going to bring right leg over left. And in this posture, we're going to get this nice work here through this right leg and this nice stretch through the hamstring. We're going to forward fold. We're going to lift that pelvic belly, lift that pelvic floor. Try to elongate through spine. You're really going to feel that active work as your hamstrings say good morning. 3, 4, 5. Now, as we come up, we're going to put the foot next to the knee, and we're going to rotate to the right. Tall spine. 1, 2, 3. Active left foot. 4, 5. We're going to come back to the center. We're going to rock this out. We're going to place that right foot on the inside of the thigh as we fold forward. Now, in Janasarsasana, when we lean forward, we're very aware that the hamstring is tight. But we tend to forget about this whole right side of the body or the other side of the body. So as you lean forward into this posture, you want to try to push down and back into right hip. And you'll really feel this tissue here in that waistline and down into right glute wake up. So you fold forward as much as you can, and maybe your hamstrings are really tight and this is your forward fold. Then that's the forward fold you have today. That's okay. As long as you feel that work and you're aware of pushing down and back. It's a subtle movement down and back. And that right hip, you're fine. We're trying to pre-stretch that tissue before we get into deeper twists. Slowly, we're going to come back up. Our right hand comes behind. Press down to come up. Lengthen. Really big stretch. Maybe this works for you, this posture. Maybe it doesn't. That's okay. We're only here for just a little bit. 4, 5. We're going to sit those booties right back down. We're going to put the right foot on the left thigh. So it might be closer to the knee for you. Maybe you're able to pull it into the hip crease. Maybe your hip's tight and this is what you have. Maybe it's not as tight and you're here. Maybe you can bring that knee down. And you know what? We can bind, but I think we'll be binding for a different class. So maybe this is how we're working this morning. So all of this area here gets to lengthen. The hip gets the work. 3, 4, 5. And gently release. We're going to extend those legs out. Nice little bounce. And we're going to switch legs. The left leg comes over, leaning forward. Find your breath. And we've been breathing and focusing on our postures, feeling grounded and rooted. Finding that focus, we might have lost the intention that we set at the beginning of the practice or the dedication. So we remember that as we inhale coming up, foot comes next to the knee. We're going to take that twist, turn it to the left. Let that back arm act like a second spine to really help you elongate and lift through the spine. Allow it to help you sit up straight. Let that knee help you to twist. Only go to your edge. Your body will be able to tell you what it can do and what it can't do today. Now we're going to slowly come back to the center. We're going to grab that foot, rock it out. Getting those smaller, cranky muscles in the bottom of the hip. The piriformis, there's a lot of, they call them the deep six in the hip. Interfere with our sciatica. We sit too long. Netflix binging because of quarantine. Yeah, we got to stretch them out. We're going to take that foot, place it on the inside of the thigh, and lean forward. So remember, again, we're leaning forward, we're elongating through the crown of the head, but this back hip pushes down and back, down and back. You can inhale and lengthen, lifting pelvic floor, which is your bandha, mula bandha, pulling that navel in, exhale it forward. Nice full breathing here. 3, 4, Slowly we're gonna come back up. Maybe we're gonna be able to do this lift and reach. Nice big stretch. It gives us a chance to really lengthen through that side body. 3, 4, 5. Butt comes right back down. We're gonna see if we can put that foot into the thigh and pull the knee up. Remember, one side might be a little more flexible than the other. Maybe the knee comes down. You choose. And gently release and bounce it out. So instead of doing recline twists in this place in our practice, we're going to save the recline twists for after our standing posture as the cool down practice before Shavasana or take rest, depending on how you practice. So from here, we're going to come to hands and knees. And I'm going to come into child's pose just to stretch it out. But I'm also using that as a time, place mark for those people who need to put blankets or towels on their mats for their knees, for anybody who needs to get some props out or adjust their mat. Nice long stretch here for the body, through that back body, through the knees, the feet. And we're going to come to table. Now, once we get into table, we're going to allow that right hand to come up, and we're going to thread it through. Right shoulder down, right ear down. You can use your left hand to help press and turn. Wonderful upper body twist here where the pelvis doesn't get involved. The pelvis can kind of move freely. A lot of times we have students or people who have broken their tailbone or their hips are a little out of alignment, so the twist gets off. Here we start that twist from the shoulders up. 3, 4, 5. We're going to press back and come to table. And then from here we're going to allow that left hand to come up. And then thread through. That shoulder comes down. Nice rotation. So again, you can use your opposite hand so that right hand can press to help me deepen the twist. Shoulder and head are on the floor. 3. Where's your breath? We tend to shorten the breath when we're twisted. 4. 5. Gently release. Shift the hips back and come into table. From table to down dog. That first down dog of our practice, we're going to bend and stretch those knees. Lengthen through the spine. Fill in the lower back. Really big stretch here. Lengthen through the body. Now we want to get a twist that's going to happen just in the pelvis. So we're going to let that right leg come up, and then we're going to hook that knee. Now notice that as I twist, I'm trying not to let my shoulders twist. Just opening through the front of the hip. And that's still very effective twist. Doesn't look like much, but really good to open through the front of the hip. You should be able to look under your left armpit and see your foot. Try not to let the shoulders lift again. They will, but you try not to. You're going to let that right foot come down. And then the left leg comes up. Bend the knee. Open through the front of the hip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to bring that foot down. Bend and stretch. And bend and stretch. We're going to put those knees down and shift back. We're going to let those wrists take a break. Maybe a little wrist circle here. And then from there, we're going to come back to table. And then from table, we're going to kick right foot out. We're going to extend left leg. Left hand comes up. Left leg comes up. So this is supported side plank. You could call it also a supported half moon. But we just want one more opportunity to open through the front of the hip. So we're gonna bend at the knee, grab the foot, open that hip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gently release. We're gonna put that left hand down, left knee down, and switch to the other side. So we're gonna extend that leg out. Right arm comes up, right leg lifts up. Looking up at your top hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bend at the knee, reach back, grab the foot, opening through the front of that hip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gently release. We're going to put that right hand down, right knee down, turn those toes, down dog. Nice big stretch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And slowly step forward. As I step forward, I can see the iPad here, and I see so many of you there. Good morning, Brian. I love you too, Leanne. Nice big stretch. Forward fold. Inhale, up. And hands come down. So we just take a second. We walk that out. We readjust. Right ear, right shoulder. We're just checking in with our neck and our body, with our feet, our hands. Left ear, left shoulder. And now let's do some standing twists. We're going to come to the front of the mat. Inhaling up. Exhaling, forward folding. Fingertips flat back. Forward fold. We're going to step that right foot back and ground it. We're going to cartwheel all the way up into Warrior 2. Now we're going to take this left arm and we're going to place it down for side angle posture. And this is a modified side angle posture. We're not doing that full version where we touch the floor because we're about to revolve this. So we want to get as much length as we can here. Opening through right side, opening through those fingertips, really lengthening through the body. 3, 4, 5, but we want to revolve this posture. So we're going to take that right arm around. We're going to try to put that right elbow on the left knee, palms together. We want space here between the shoulder and the ear, so we press and lift up. So there's a difference in propping and pressing. And we're pressing, looking up towards that left elbow. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We gently release those hands down to the floor. Come to the ball of that right foot as we step back to plank. From plank, knees, chest and chin, or chaturanga. Up for dog or cobra. You can modify up or down with these postures. Turn those toes, come into down dog. Maybe a little bend and stretch to check in with your knees, your ankles, your toes. Right foot comes forward as we ground the back foot. From here, we're going to cartwheel up to Warrior 2. Remember, we want to make sure that this right knee stays right. A lot of times we have a tendency to roll it in when we're just paying attention to our breath. Feel that movement of right goes right. That elbow comes down, left arm travels. Maybe you can look up and towards that left hand. Full breathing here. 1, 2. Press and prop works here too. There should be space between the shoulder and ear. 4, 5. We're going to revolve that around. We're going to put that left elbow on the right knee. Palms come together, looking up towards that elbow. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Are you smiling? Got muscles in the face too. 5. We're going to put those hands down. Come to the ball of the foot, stepping forward. Fingertips flat back. Forward fold. Maybe give your head a shake no. And yes. Soft bend those knees. We're going to inhale up. Hands come down in prayer through the heart. All the way down, shake it out. Nice work. All right, we have another combo, and this time we're going to work through triangle and revolve triangle. Let's try this together. Inhale lengthening through the spine. Forward fold. We're going to soft bend the knees. Send that right foot back. We're going to cartwheel up into warrior two. We're using warrior two is that pose that we can come back to before we start the next one. That transition movement. So from here we're going to straighten the front leg, lengthen forward, and tip. Coming into triangle. So maybe your triangle's on your thigh, your shin, ankle, floor, or toe, depending on how you practice. Hips are forward, shoulders are back. You gaze up towards top hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to revolve this, and I'm going to teach the modified version of revolved triangle because in all honesty, it's a pretty difficult posture. We're going to let this right hand come down. We're going to bend this knee for the modification. So with the modification, right hand is down on the floor. That has to stay on the floor. The left hand will come up, and you'll start to straighten that left leg. You're going to feel it in the hip. You're going to feel it in the hamstring. Now I have a couple of you who will be able to do that full posture. And if you're going to do that full posture, you'll just kind of back out of it a little bit and change the placement of the hand. You choose. 3, 4, 5. We let that top hand come down. We bend that left knee. We're going to step back to plank. Once we get to that plank, knees, chest, and chin are chaturanga. Upward dog or cobra. Turning those toes, down dog. We're bending and stretching here. Again, checking in. Hands, feet, toes, spine, shoulders. Maybe this is a good place for you to remember to return to your breath. Focused breathing. Maybe you return back to your intention. And we're going to let that right leg travel forward, grounding that back foot. Come up into warrior two. Again, our transition pose for today. We're going to straighten the front leg. Lengthen forward. So maybe it's thigh, shin, ankle, floor or toe. Hand comes up. Hips forward, shoulders back. 1. Look up at the top hand. 2. Where's your breathing? 3, 4, 5. We're going to let that top hand come down. We're going to bend this knee. Maybe you have to adjust that back foot for your knee. We're going to start to straighten this leg so that we can feel the work all the way up and into glute as the hand comes up. Now this is the modified posture. Some of you have that full posture, and if you do, you'll just go ahead, modify by putting your hand where it should go. Hands come up. 1. Hollow out belly, lifting pelvic floor. 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to let that top hand come down. Bending right knee, come to the ball of left foot, step forward, fingertips flat back. Forward fold, maybe a little shake. Bend those knees, inhale, come all the way up. Hands come to the heart. And release it down. Walk it out. Feel the temperature and the texture underneath your feet. Your feet have that same capability that your hands do to feel coolness, to feel texture, density. And just bringing your awareness to your feet is going to help you stay more connected, grounded. Full breath. So our next posture is going to be chair pose. So we're going to keep those feet just about 3 inches apart. We're going to scoop through coming into chair. Now, chair, we have a tendency to sway the back here. See if we can tuck that tailbone under and straighten it out. The next thing is if you drop your hands down and then slowly lift them up until they won't rise anymore without compromising the back, that's the chair I'm looking for. Lifting pelvic floor, pulling the belly in. Where's your breath? 3, 4, 5. We're going to bring the hands to the heart. We're going to put that right elbow on left knee. Really rotate looking at left elbow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come back out to your chair. And then you're going to bring those hands to the heart. Turn that left elbow to right knee. Look at right elbow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to come back to that center. Press down to come up. Open through the heart. Hands come right back down. And then walk it out. Again, temperature and texture of the feet. Checking in, maybe open and close the hands. Right your right shoulder. Always body scanning. Always remembering to breathe. Feeling where you are in space. Nice work. So we come back to the front of the mat. We're going to finish up these standing poses. We have one more standing pose and then a balance or two. Hands come to the heart. This time we're going to step out to the right. Now, from here, we're going to allow the hands to come behind. Lace the fingers together. The heels of the hands touch. Coming forward, we're going to allow those hands to come up. Nice big stretch. So you're pushing down and out with the feet, lifting that pelvic floor, pulling the navel in. Nice stretch. Maybe a shake in the head. No and yes, gently, to see if you're shrugging your shoulders. Nice stretching here. 3, 4, 5. We're going to bring those hands back down to the waistline and then allow them to come to the floor. Straighten the arms. So this is going to be like when we were kids and we had to do a pose called windmill and phys ed. So same thing here. We're putting that right hand in the center. We're about to lift the left hand. But as you lift the left hand, you're going to want to shift your weight to the left. Don't shift your weight. And it gets really hard when that happens. Look up at your left hand. Let the twist just be in the torso, not in the hips, if you can help it. 3, 4, 5. We're going to let that top hand come down. Right hand comes up. Don't let the weight shift to the right. Try to push it to the left so that you stay balanced. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to let that top hand come down. Bend those knees. Take a little break here. And then slowly push up. We're going to bend those knees to roll it. Nice work. From here, we're going to take a big step to the front of the mat. So turn those left toes forward and then step back to the front of the mat. Nice movement here. So our last standing posture will be of balance. We're going to do hand to big toe pose. And hand to big toe pose normally looks like this. Utthita Padangusthasana may not happen for you, so we can do this. We can absolutely grab the wall. So the big challenge for today's practice, and I'm going to show you using the wall and using my knee. If you have a chair at home, you can absolutely grab that. We're going to hold for 5 counts here. But then we're also going to hold for 5 counts here. That's that last big twist standing. So you find what's going to work best for you. We're going to come here. You're going to choose to either do that full extended posture with the twist or grab the knee. So let's do this together. You're going to put left hand on the wall or on hip. We're going to reach down. I'm going to bend my knee to grab today. And we're going to extend. Or you're grabbing your knee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're getting ready to make the transition. So I'm going to reach out, grab that foot, pull hand in, and then out to twist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring it back in, release gently, place it down. Walk it out. Now let's see if we can do it on the other side. There'll always be a side that's a little off. I'm just going to turn around so you have a better view. So you're either going to grab the knee or grab the foot. Right hand is on the hip or grabbing the wall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now maybe you can make that transition where you grab and twist. Bring that hand in first and then back. You'll have a little better transition. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn that torso back and place your foot. Walk it out. Well done. Now from here, we're going to make our way down. We're going to come to the front of the mat. Maybe you can be hip distance apart. We're going to slowly come into a squat. Nice big stretch here. Feel that work? So there's a little twist that we're going to do here. We're going to let that right hand come down. So notice that when I bring that right hand down, my right arm is in front of my right leg. Now I'm going to let that left arm come up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hands come back together. We're going to try the other side. Left hand comes down. And again, my left arm is in front of my shin. Let that right arm come up. Where's your breathing? Are you still lifting pelvic floor? Pulling navel in? Think back to your intention. 3, 4, 5. We're going to pull those hands back in. And gently, we're going to sit back on the booty and pull those knees in. We're going to give them a little hug, stretching out your lower back here. And we're getting ready to roll back. And that's when we're going to do all those reclined twists. Sorry, coffee. Now, from here, maybe you like to cross at your ankles. Maybe you like to roll quickly, get a little thoracic adjustment. We can roll back. And we're going to put those arms out to the side. We want to try to turn those palms up. We're going to uncross those legs, and we're going to drop those knees over to the left. Now, when we drop those knees to the left, we're trying to keep right shoulder on the floor. So we can continue to stretch this tissue here through the side body, through the obliques, radius anterior, all through the top of the iliac crest, in that waistline. Nice long stretch. Full breath. Now we're able to really get past that tissue, deeper into the spine. That's where all that information travels, is up and down the spinal column. Energetically, the Sushumna, the energy flows back and forth. But we're going to take this right leg and see if we can extend it out and put it in the left hand. Now I'm a little close to the wall, so that looks a lot harder than it is. But you can move your hand wherever you need to grab your foot, or move your foot to make it to your hand. You're going to feel the outside of your right hip really turn on. 3, 4, 5. Well done. We're going to bend that knee, bring those knees back to the center. Now we're going to go to the other side. So we're going to drop those knees over. And we want to keep that left shoulder down to the floor. Nice full breath here. 3, 4, 5. We're going to extend that left foot out and put it in our right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to bring that leg back. We're going to hug those knees in. Nice work here. Little rock. Now we're going to come into happy baby. So we're going to grab those heels, try to pull down. That knee comes down towards armpit and floor. 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to try to take that right heel and pull it in towards the chin. 1, 2,
3, 4, 5. And let that foot come up. And we're going to try to pull left hand in towards chin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And bring that foot up. We gently release, cross those legs. See if we can reach down, grab those ankles, pull them up towards armpit. Really feel that work in the hip. Nice flat spine here. Maybe our breath has returned to a natural pace for us. And we're going to switch sides. Pulling those ankles down and up. Nice full breathing. Now we've been doing some work through the side body. We really need to support that torso. We've only done a couple of up dogs, which is back bending, and no core basically, other than chaturanga if you did it. So we're going to add that in so that that whole torso feels rejuvenated. And we're going to release and allow those feet to come up. So this work is going to be through the obliques, which is that space that we've been stretching and lengthening. We now want to put strength back into it so it becomes supple. So you're going to take those legs, we're going to bring them over to the left at a 45. You're going to feel all that weight down into left glute. That right glute comes up off the floor. We want to try to keep those palms turned down. That's going to allow you to have a little more control. Notice that that right shoulder still stays on the floor. And 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to bring those legs back to the center. You're going to bring the legs over to the right at a 45. Do your best. You're going to feel all that weight down into that right hip. Nice full breath here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well done. We're going to bring those knees back in. Pull them in a little bit. Take a break. You might have dumped out into your lower back if that was hard. So we're going to do some core here. It looks a little more like maybe a Pilates class or an exercise class, but very effective to get in at the end of this practice. So we're going to let this leg come up. Both legs are up, but the right leg's going to come down at a 45. And we want to try to hold this position. We're going to allow the hands to go on the back of the head. Don't pull your head here. If this is too difficult, you can just stay in this position, working lower abdominals. Hands are on the back of the head. Here we go. We're going to roll to the left and down, and then up towards those right toes and down. That's 1. To the left and down, to right toes and down. That's 2. To the left and down, to right toes and down. That's 3. To the left and down, to right toes and down. That's 4. To the left and down, to right toes and down. That's 5. Pull those knees in and rest. Check in with your body. Again, where is your breath? It's more important than any posture you've done. Nice full inhales and exhales through your nose. Feel grounded through the spine. Let's try the other side. We lift the legs, drop that left one, 45. Again, you can stay in this position if it's difficult. Hands come on the back of the head. We're going to roll to the right and down and then to left toe and down. That's 1. To the right and down to left toes and down. That's 2. To the right and down to left toes and down. That's 3. To the right and down to left toes and down. That's 4. To the right and down to left toes and down. That's 5. Pull those knees in. We're done. So we did core. We worked those abdominals. Now we need to lengthen them. So we're going to put the bottoms of the feet flat on the floor. Press through those feet, lifting up into bridge. You can absolutely leave your hands right here beside your body in bridge. If you choose, you can lace the fingers together and roll the shoulders under to get a little higher. Only do that if you think that your shoulders and your neck will feel comfortable. Try not to let those booties sink. Try not to let your knees go into a V. Keeping the body parallel. Find your breath here. 3, 4, 5. Slowly start to roll down. One vertebra at a time. Tuck that pelvis under. Feel your lower back touch and rest. Nice sway here with those knees. Side to side. As you go over to the right, feel that left knee pressing down. As you go to the left, feel that right knee pressing down. Come back to the center. Now we're getting ready to take rest. So maybe we're going to extend one leg and then the other and rest down to the floor. Maybe you have a bolster or a blanket, pillow to put under your knees. And you rest and breathe. And I can walk you through that. So that back body is sinking down to the floor. Your top body sinks down on your back body. You release through the feet, through the ankles, through the shin and calf. We move through the knees, into the thighs. We soften the glutes and pelvic belly. We release the lower back and navel. Mid back and solar plexus. Shoulder blades and heart. Lifting those collarbones and allowing the neck to be long. We soften the face and the jaws. We feel the scalp sag back towards the floor. We notice the breath. The breath right now is on an automatic pilot. It goes to that conservative breath. We begin to lengthen it, feeling that inhale travel up back body, and exhale come down front body. Inhale, lengthening tissues and the fibers of the muscles in the body. Exhale, washing out everything that no longer serves us. Inhaling up back body. Exhaling down front body. And rest. Now you can absolutely choose to stay here and rest longer. You can pause the video or watch it again later. We'll begin to move those fingers and toes if you're going to wake up with me. Maybe there's a shift in the rib cage. Maybe you begin to pull one knee and then the other to the chest. Maybe a little rock from side to side to get that circulation going in the tissues of the back body. Slowly you'll roll to your right side. Feeling the practice come together like ingredients of a wonderful recipe. That's what this practice is, a little breath, a little standing, a little seated, and it comes together and your body feels aligned and whole and rooted. We slowly come up to a comfortable seated position. We slowly just
Allow the head to rotate to the right, just checking in with the neck and the spine. We allow the head to turn to the left, again, just checking in. Back to the center. We're going to bring our hands to the heart. And this is where we remind ourselves of all the amazing things we have in our life to be thankful for. Many times we are unaware that we are taking things for granted until we no longer have them. We're going to send out love and kindness and compassion to those who need it. And there are plenty of people who need it right now. You're going to end the practice with an Om if you're comfortable. If not, just enjoy mine. Inhaling. Bowing forward in respect, namaste. Peace be with you. Go safely. And thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate everyone joining me today. If you have any comments or requests, please leave them below and I will read everyone. Thank you.